Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to No Bullshipping with Hope White. This is the absolute final episode of 2022. And woo, it has been such a blast. This year has definitely been one for the books, okay? I hope that you're staying warm while tuning in with us today on No Bullshipping with Hope White. I have a very special guest that I thought that it would be befitting to invite my dear friend, Miss Sarah Barnes-Humphrey of Let's Talk Supply Chain to close out the year. So without further ado, let's bring up Miss Sarah Barnes-Humphrey. Hey,
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Grinches?
Sarah. Oh, you know what? I didn't even see your your shirt backstage. That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I bought it. I don't know. I bought it a couple of weeks ago. I saw it and I was like, that is very fitting for this holiday season.
Absolutely. It's definitely fitting for today. I know you're in Canada, correct?
I am. And we are in the middle of a winter
Yeah.
storm watch. And it is blistering snow. You can't see it, but on the other side of the screen, it's blistering snow,
Yeah.
flash freezing,
Yeah.
everything that you want before
Yeah.
the holidays.
Yeah. Just a typical old Home Alone Christmas here.
Get
Yeah.
out the Christmas movies, baby.
Yeah, I'm in South Georgia, and I think I'm going to blow away once I go outside. The wind is whipping really high. So, yeah, it's definitely closing out 2022 the right way.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, hopefully it'll stop tomorrow so that we can go and see some family.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to be hunkering down. Everybody who knows me knows
Yeah.
that I don't like winter.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure why I live in Ontario.
Yeah. Where all of the winter is, right?
Yep.
So, this show is going to be a little different than most because me and you are friends outside of this. So, we're going to have a very candid conversation around 2022 supply chain, your show, Thoughts and Coffee, my show, No Bullshit with Hope White, where we're going, what we're going to do, and what does it look like for 2023. So I'm not going to tell everyone. I want you to tell everyone. How did we come to meet, Sarah?
Seriously, we just talked about this backstage. So, okay, the one thing I'll say is I feel like we've known each other for a very, very long time.
Yeah,
And, we met online
yeah,
and we've been online buddies
yeah.
for quite a while. I think it's been a couple of years.
It's
You've been
almost
on my
2 years.
show. We've done a
Yeah,
couple of things together.
yeah,
And then we got together to really create No
yeah,
Bullshipping with
yeah,
Hope White. And honestly, it's been amazing. I mean,
yeah,
I love you. I love your show.
yeah.
And our community, our audience really loves your show too,
Awesome.
and loves what you bring to the industry.
Oh,
And
man.
then you and I met for the first time in person in
Yeah,
November,
yeah,
and we went on a trip together after not really ever meeting each other in person.
yeah. I thought that was so cool.
That was so much fun, and we spent a lot of time in the car. We get spent a lot of time getting to know
Yeah,
each other.
yeah.
And, I think we are what, soul sisters?
We are soul sisters, almost literally now because we walked all of Helen, Georgia,
Yes, we did.
about 3 weeks ago. So definitely that. But yes, we did meet online. And for some of those that's tuning in, that are smaller businesses. We always talk about the power of networking,
Mhm.
but not understanding just how much true friendship can come out of it. And so Sarah and I met online through another mutual friend of ours, and it's just blossomed since then. Oh, Sarah, we got a lot of people checking in. Let me tell some people hello. Hey, good morning, Jamal. You remember Jamal from Superstar Game Face, Sarah?
Yep, yep, and Siva too. Siva
Yeah,
joined us last night, and
yeah,
man, we had some fun.
yeah. We had Rob. Good morning, Rob. How you doing? I hope you're hunkering down there in Tennessee.
Yeah, he got
Hey,
snow.
yeah. Oh my
Weird.
God, yeah. Lori. Hi, Lori. How you doing? Checking in from Maryland. Rhonda Walker checking in from Texas. I hope that you're hunkering down as well. And hi, Siva. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. So, Sarah, tell us about thoughts and coffee.
So, Thoughts and Coffee is my weekly live show on
Yeah.
Tuesday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern.
Hmm.
And it's really just about talking about the hot topics,
Right.
but really different hot topics. Like, we try to bring in some fun elements. Like, I think at some point this year, we talked about maple syrup and how there
Yeah.
was a maple syrup shortage. But in Canada, we actually have a huge bank of maple syrup that they had to
Yeah.
tap into.
Yeah.
And I think next week I'm going to tell you guys and give you guys all the update of where we're at with the maple syrup shortage.
Okay.
Thankfully, I don't think we're tapping into those reserves anymore, but
Hmm.
you'll have to tune
Hmm.
in to find out. But I have, so Audrey Ross, who's my trade bestie,
Yes.
she
Yes.
joins me every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then in between, we have all sorts of different people that come on the show and we talk about different topics. Last week actually was really, really cool because we talked about cybersecurity because it's the
Hmm.
second biggest threat to supply chains in
Yes, it is.
2023.
Yeah. Right.
And logistics companies are the ones that they are targeting because they're kind of the glue. Right.
Right.
And
Right.
so what they've seen is through the pandemic, they've seen how interconnected the supply chain is and
Yeah.
how they can actually infiltrate it to get their money.
Hmm.
And then we talked about supply chain theft. So two really, topics that we don't really talk a lot about, but those are the kinds of things that we talk about on Thoughts and Coffee, and we have fun doing it. We talk about the poll. You get an update on what's happening
Right.
at Let's Talk
Right.
Supply Chain. Honestly, we call it the fastest 30 minutes in supply chain because it's
Yeah.
like we start it and then we end it and it's over and we're like, what just happened?
Wow, it's such a coincidence you just brought up, or as I say, a coinkydink, that you just brought up cybersecurity there, because we actually have one of our clients that sent us an assessment, an extremely long assessment about our security measures,
Wow.
and how we do business with third parties to manage their business. So that is very profound there, and I want to dig a little deeper in that. So definitely smaller businesses need to tighten up on their internal security processes because it is going to affect us. Yeah.
Well, we do. So we have a new live show.
Hmm.
And they're talking about cybersecurity. They're talking about the risks to supply chain. They're talking about supply chain theft.
Right.
And that's Danny with Overhaul. And so that's going to be coming up monthly as well. So definitely
Okay.
want to tune into that
Yeah.
um, and ask all of your questions. I think that's one of the most important things about these live shows, your
Yeah.
live show, my live show, all the ones
Yeah.
that we bring to the audience is that
Yeah.
it's really your time to connect to the host and ask
Yeah.
those questions that you have about their
Yeah.
particular part in the industry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So bringing that forward, how do we get to know bullshitting with Hope White? I want to know.
I think I was like, I saw you. I mean, you're such a personality.
Oh
And I
yeah, I'm
was
a
like,
character now.
how do we make this happen for you? And how do we collaborate on that? Right?
Yeah.
Because it's really important
Yeah.
that we support each other, empower
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And one of the reasons why I started Let's Talk Supply Chain is so that it could be a platform for other people.
Yeah.
Right? I only started with myself because I was the only person that would work for free.
Right.
And now we can extend that platform to other people in the
Yeah.
industry. And so
Yeah.
now we're doing that, right?
Mhm.
Now we're
Mhm.
giving that platform to voices like yours,
Mhm.
and the audience can get to know you and ask you questions and all sorts of stuff. And so we did a strategy session and we were
Yeah.
going through all sorts of names. We're like, what about this? What about this? What about this? And then I don't know what happened. I
Yeah.
think I looked at you and I was like, what about no bullshipping?
Bingo, baby. That's it. Cause that's me, baby. No bullshit. You hear me?
I was like, how do we make this PG?
Absolutely. I remember asking you also in that same strategy session. I don't know if you remember this, but I do. You said, I said, can I curse? And you was like, yeah, sure, right? So
Well,
right,
I think I said yes, but well, you gotta kind of keep it to, you know.
yeah, yeah, you did say that, right? So the first show I did, I tried to drop a couple bombs there. You messaged me like, "Did you say this?" And I was like, "Oh God, no more cursing."
Well, until the challenge with that is that we have to mark it explicit so that everybody
Absolutely.
knows, because otherwise we get in trouble.
Oh, I understand. It just helps me tailor my professional etiquette there. So that definitely worked for me. Awesome. So moving forward, we've since done we've come very full forward with No Bullshit and with Hope White, but we've also done some other collaborations on your platform that I've been so blessed to be a part of. So let's talk about the spooky game show in October. Spooky show in October.
Yeah, so that one was a lot of fun. So we
Yeah.
knew that was it our 300th episode? I think it was our 300th
It was. It
episode,
absolutely.
and we
Yes,
knew
it
that it was
was.
landing on Halloween, and we were
Yeah.
like, "Okay, what are we gonna do?" Because for our
Yeah.
200th episode,
Yeah.
I got a bunch of people together to talk about
Yeah.
like supply chain, let's talk supply chain, all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "What do we do for Halloween?" And so I was like, "Let's get all our live show hosts together, and
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about the horror stories in supply chain."
Yeah.
And we just had a lot of fun. Like, it really wasn't very scripted. We just sort of
Yeah.
talked about different things. I shared some stories about how I was in the middle of some investigation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we also talked about a story around sex toys, which was very random for us.
Yeah, that was a very random one. Let's clarify that. There was a story around a truck that was hauling
Yes.
sex toys that flipped, and somehow that became a part of the conversation.
Yeah, and I got this like random email that I think I read kind of snippets, and it was just really, really random and funny.
Yeah. I so enjoy your platform because you're not stiff with the different issues that come within supply chain, that you make it more palatable for those who are just coming in the business or just trying to understand the business more, and you have fun with it, and so you even took that to the next level with Superstar Game Face.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So if anybody has watched Celebrity Game Face with Kevin
Right.
Hart, it's
Mhm.
one of our family's like favorite shows. And I was like,
Right.
wait a second. Why don't we do something like that for supply chain?
Yeah.
And listen, I think this idea came up in July, and it was a heavy, heavy lift because
Yeah.
we had to find two people that
Mhm.
wanted to do it that were in the same either office or
Yeah.
the same state that could get
Yeah. Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a challenge on its own, and then
Yeah.
trying to get 8 people together for a recording was the other
Mhm.
challenge, especially during flu season, because some people
Right.
got sick and we had to move it. And then, to be honest with you, you guys trusted me because I
Mhm.
really didn't give you very much except for a box full of stuff.
Sarah, we was struggling. We read them instructions like 4 times, like it's gonna click after a while.
Oh my goodness, that was so funny. And then the box to add a bio, I think got returned to us. Was it add a
Yeah.
bio? No, it was Madison. It got returned
Mhm.
back to us. So we had
Mhm.
to resend it back to add a bio.
Yeah.
And then the address that he gave us was like 30 minutes from his house. And then
Yeah.
Madison was an hour from like it was just, and then we we posted it to go live, and then we had to delete it so it showed canceled, and then we were like, no, it's not canceled, we're just moving the time. And
Listen.
then it was supposed to go on my personal
Yeah.
LinkedIn page. That didn't
Yeah.
work last night. It
Yeah.
went out at 8 a.m. yesterday morning. Like, it has honestly, I looked at my team and I was like, is this actually going to happen? Because I'm not entirely sure if any of this is possible right now.
Yeah.
But it took about 6 months of planning. We finally got it done, and honestly, my team did a really, really good job. I need to thank them so much because they did a really good job editing and putting it
Yeah.
all together, getting the boxes
Absolutely.
out.
Absolutely. I know we had an awesome time, and my partner was Romeo Watley of Trucking Hustle. We had an awesome time participating in it. And I just want to say to you, Sarah, the most beautiful things come out of the mud. So
Yes,
we
that's
we
true.
had a lot of mud in there. But we definitely made it work. I think my most favorite part was beating freight waves, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
When they
We
were running,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, when they were running through their offices and they literally ran past a whole case of like
Yeah.
trucks that they just could
Yeah.
have taken a picture of, and they ran
Yeah.
outside and took
They
a picture with a
they
bus.
passed by rolling chairs and rolling copiers and all kind of stuff just to get outside to find a bus.
Oh, Oh man, if you guys missed it, it's actually going to be on my personal LinkedIn
Yeah,
a little bit later on today,
yeah,
and it's the best 48 minutes you're going to spend
yeah,
in supply chain, I think. I mean, I'm a little biased.
yeah, yeah. We
I
got
a
some.
lot of people had fun, so.
Yeah, we got some comments over here. So Jamal the broker says the spooky show was great, but the game show was epic. We need a monthly game show, Sarah. He says.
So, with the heavy lift, we're
Mhm.
looking at potentially doing it quarterly,
Okay.
and we're looking for sponsors for it. So,
Okay.
if anybody wants to sponsor it, reach out to me and we are gonna make it happen.
Absolutely. And Bareem says, "Hello, Sarah and Hope. What a happiness to watch you all laugh. Hope to 2023 be full of optimism and development."
Awesome. That's so
Yeah.
nice. Thank you, Bayram.
Tara says, "I'm so happy you overcame those challenges. I laughed the entire show."
You know what the other best part was the look on Adebayo's face.
Yeah.
And your looks. I don't know,
No.
for some reason, you and I both, like, leaned up to the
Yeah.
screen.
I've struggled with what goes on in his forehead and matching the face all my life. Like I just cannot separate the two. Okay. The
Mm.
truth is gonna come out on my face, right?
And then there was no participation points. Nobody wanted participation points, but in the end,
No.
everybody won because I sent everybody a participation trophy.
No.
And the participation trophy, did you look at it? It says
Yes.
Superstar Game Face, Let's Talk Supply Chain
Yeah,
2022.
I did. It needed to say Ramel and Hope,
It
winner.
did. Yeah, yeah. Next time.
Next time, so 2023, we're moving forward. But before we do that, we had some highs and some lows of
Mm.
2022 in supply chain. Probably, what was your give me a peak highlight for 2022 from a supply chain perspective, something you seen happen or come out
Mm.
positive, and then give me a low that you seen.
Man, that's random, and you didn't give me any time to prepare.
Oh God. Okay, well, just whichever one you catch, just catch that one, whichever one.
I think the lows, I'll start with that first, is just
Sure.
all of the additional disruptions that sort of happened this year. There
Yeah.
was so many, right? I
Okay.
remember going on Thoughts and Coffee, and like it's almost like every show, we have shortages of this, shortages of that, you
Yeah.
know? What
Yeah.
does that mean for everybody?
Yeah.
And I think it was another hard year for supply chainers.
Yeah.
And, I think we just have to sort of lean on each other
Hmm.
and have those people that you can vent to that really sort of
Yeah.
understand.
Absolutely.
A highlight for me personally was doing that keynote at the Woman in Supply Chain
Yeah.
Forum in Atlanta. It was my
Yeah.
first keynote.
Yeah.
And if anybody knows me, they know I don't do anything traditionally. So
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
it very differently and it could have bombed, but it didn't.
Yeah.
It was quite successful.
Hmm.
And so really happy about that. And I think, the highlight for supply chain is really just seeing everybody sort of come together and collaborate, I think,
Yeah. Absolutely.
and get more vocal. I
Yeah.
think get more vocal about what is happening
Yeah.
and really for us to really talk about how important supply chain is to a business, right? Because
Yeah.
we're the keepers of the gross profit margin.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
it's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I
What about
have
for you?
Yeah, I have two there. So my highlight probably of 2022 was attending the Truck and Hustle Freight Fest in Houston,
Yeah.
Texas.
Celebrity status.
Baby, you hear me? Like, and also being a speaker there on that platform, Ramel Watley and his team did a wonderful job putting that
Mhm.
together. And so for me, I thought that brought together so many small businesses and larger businesses
Yeah.
and resources that we need in the industry that might not give us that typical attention
Mhm.
to our businesses. And when I say us, I'm talking about the diverse minority groups in logistics and supply chain. And so I was so grateful to be a part of that because it really was out of sight. It was wonderfully put together and everybody just had a wonderful time. I mean, it was
Yeah.
really good. It was in Houston. Um, so hats off to Ramel and team for that. And then second, my low probably was carrying myself financially through
Yeah.
2022 on a wing and a prayer.
Yeah. And kudos to you. I mean, honestly, you are such an inspiration.
Yeah. Thank
I
you.
know a lot, like you and I have shared
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And, it just goes to show what
Yeah.
perseverance
Yeah.
and resilience really, really means, because I think you
Yeah.
really embody that, and
Yeah.
you're such a great example of
Thank you.
what you can do
Thank
and
you.
what is possible.
Yeah, thank you. And then I think from a whole perspective, a low for supply chain for the entire industry was the rates dropping as
Mhm.
drastically as they did.
Yeah,
And had I not been paying attention to the market, I might have not almost had time to prepare
right.
for those drastic changes, and it could have been very detrimental to our business. So
Mhm.
I think across the industry as a whole, the low for me in 2022 was those rates taking a
Yeah.
tank there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think another highlight that I want to mention is the blended pledge, and that we were able to send 2 diverse voices to
Yeah.
industry conferences.
Yeah.
That was a really big deal for us, because we
Yeah.
literally only started it in October last year.
Right.
And it's like a small business, right? It's a
Mhm.
nonprofit, but a small business.
Yeah.
And being able to do that, and then, just looking forward to being able to do more of that. And
Mhm.
so if you're a diverse voice, you need a grant to cover travel expenses so that you can go and speak at an industry conference,
Yeah.
check out Blended Pledge on LinkedIn. Um, because I think applications are open, so
Right.
definitely don't be shy.
Yeah.
We only have a certain amount of funds, but
Yeah.
we're always trying to,
Yeah.
get more funds in there so that we can fund more people. But I
Yeah.
think, I'm really looking forward to the impact that can make 2 stages,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're moving forward to 2023. So we
Mhm.
talked about the blended pledge there and the opportunity to help diverse individuals attend those conferences that's needed in 2023. But what are the next, what's on the horizon for Thoughts and Coffee in 2023 for
So,
Sarah?
Thoughts and Coffee itself, we've got some good guests, some really good guests sort of lined up for the show. I'm
Mhm.
traveling a bit, more this year, so Audrey is probably gonna host, and actually Hope, I was gonna ask you to host one of them. Surprise!
Hercules, Hercules,
So we gotta get together on that date.
Hercules. Ice.
But I think, we are gonna do a lot in the community.
Yeah.
So really stay
Yeah.
tuned, tap into us, make
Absolutely.
sure that you're following what we're doing,
Yeah.
because we've got a lot of really good ideas when it comes to bringing the community together,
Yeah.
bringing together some more content, bringing
Yeah.
people together in conversation.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. I can't really say anything yet because we
Yeah.
haven't launched it yet, but it
Okay.
will be launched fairly soon.
Sure.
Um, and for me personally, I'm gonna work on a little bit more of my personal brand,
Mhm.
going live on Instagram, on the Let's Talk Supply Chain Instagram a little bit more
More, yeah,
often,
yeah.
so that, we can be available on that platform,
Yep.
a little bit more, or I can be available on that platform. Plus,
Mhm.
I'm offering coaching through.
Logistically Speaking
Yeah.
online. So that is one of the bigger announcements that we're going to be making. Sarah is going to be partnering with Logistically Speaking to offer coaching services on LinkedIn marketing. So you want to talk about it a little bit, or we want to wait?
Yeah, no, so obviously you guys know I have built my Let's Talk Supply Chain brand, my personal
Yeah.
brand, mostly on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Hope is helping me out a little bit with Instagram, so I'm gonna get a little bit more there, but
Mhm.
mostly on LinkedIn. And when Hope and I got together last month, we really talked about what it was that the community was looking for from
Right.
Logistically Speaking, and how
Right.
we could work more together.
Right.
And so Hope and I are going to work more together on that community stuff I just mentioned.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be offering coaching
Mhm.
to, your clients as
Yep.
well, to talk
Yep.
about LinkedIn, because
Yeah.
LinkedIn is a bit of a challenge that everybody has.
Yes, it is.
How do we do it? What do we do? How do
Yeah.
we build that brand on there?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I wanted to, make myself available to really be able to help people utilize
Yeah.
LinkedIn to the biggest ability, and optimize what they're doing on there.
Yeah.
Because if you're active on there and you're, testing things out, it's a really good place to sort of test
Mhm.
things out, build community, network.
Right.
I mean, look what happened, just the two of us sort of
Yeah.
networking through LinkedIn, right?
Yeah. Just
There's
through LinkedIn.
power in this platform, and
Absolutely.
we want to make sure that we can share that with everybody.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. I mean, I'm excited. I'm very excited. So, for logistically speaking, of course, we're adding more coaches just like yourself to the
Good.
network for different services that will be on the horizon for 2023. For HD Dredge, we're adding more drivers to the company to be able to
Nice.
facilitate some of the opportunities that we have been blessed with in the just here in the last of the year. And I think for me as a personal goal, I'm going on like a self-love journey here in
Nice.
2023. So I'm going to probably try to find me a good spa reset in like Phoenix or Arizona somewhere.
So we need to talk about this when
Okay.
we end this live,
Okay.
because you might
Okay.
want to join me for what I'm doing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm finna go spacey, okay, with this thing because I really want to be able to encompass and embody everything for 2023 for us as a whole. Let's talk supply chain, no bullshit with Hawaii, logistically speaking, and then HD Dredge Container Services. So,
I am so excited. I mean, you're a
yeah,
force to be reckoned with, lady.
girl, that's what they
And
say. That's what they be saying, but we don't never know who they is.
well, I'm saying it.
Thank you so much.
And you know what? I think, 2023 is going to be a big deal. We're going to be adding some more live shows too.
Yeah, yeah,
And just extending the platform,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I think that's really I mean, look, collaboration is the future of business.
yeah,
Say it all the time. I've got it
yeah,
behind me all the time.
absolutely.
And excited to see what you're doing, excited to see
Yeah.
what the audience is doing.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and just partnering some more. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I want hope in my life for a very, very long time, and
Well,
this kind of solidifies it.
child, ain't nothing wrong with a little hope now. Come on with it. So, Sarah, this has been a wonderful conversation in the
Mhm.
era of time. My last guest, we talked so much, honey, we talked the channel out. Okay. But if I want to connect with Sarah Barnes-Humphrey or Let's Talk Supply Chain, how can I find you?
So many ways. On LinkedIn, Let's Talk Supply Chain. Definitely follow us. We have a fun poll of the week that
Yeah.
everybody sort of gets involved in.
Yeah.
Plus, we've got lots of other things.
Yeah.
Sarah Barnes-Humphrey on LinkedIn too.
Hmm.
We're also on Instagram. So Let's Talk Supply Chain. If you DM us Talk1, you actually get our supply chain dictionary for free on Instagram.
Oh,
And then on
look at
Instagram, I'm
that.
also Be Victorious. BE Victory Us is my handle, because actually my company name is Victorious, and it means
Victorious.
winning together.
Okay. And if I want to sponsor one of your shows, would it be one of those points of contact as well?
Yeah. Or you can email us at listener@letstalksupplychain.com.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate you. I am looking forward to our continued friendship and partnership
So,
throughout 2023 and
me
beyond.
too. Thank you so much for having me on for your last show. And congratulations on all the success that you had this year. And I just want to say thank you to choosing Let's Talk Supply Chain and
Thank
our platform to elevate your voice and be the voice for, the trucking industry.
thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate the opportunity. All
Well,
right. Talk to you
happy
soon.
holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays. Bye bye.